Hello.
Hi, ACDC. Please get your presentation ready on the screen, and we'll get started whenever you're ready. So we're gonna have 5 minutes for your presentation, and Ariel will let you know in chat when you have 2 minutes left, 1 minute left, and 30 seconds. And then we'll have 5 minutes of question and answer.
All right, sounds good.
Any questions?
No, not really.
Great. All right. Whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right, so then I'll start. Good afternoon, everyone. We're Team ACDC, and we want to present our solution for this challenge. So based on the provided material and the additional research that we did, we identified the most frequent accidents caused by unsafe working conditions and unsafe actions. So with our solution, we want to tackle 3 key risks for construction sites: falls from height, falls from the same level, and falling objects. And the setup that we propose will allow Sterlite to make use of real-time insights for example, their daily toolbox meetings, and keep their documentation for audits or inspections up to date, all with the aim to promote safe behavior among all participants.
All right, so for our solution, we will be using 4 main technologies. First, we will use 360 degrees cameras. And so we will have 1 camera per worker mounted on the helmet. And the images captured by these cameras will be used to detect unsafe acts and conditions. Second, we will have Bluetooth low energy. Basically, this will be to locate the workers in real time. We will use 7 beacons on site for a reliable 3D localization of the workers. The workers will use their mobile phones as a localization device, and we will also use Bluetooth tags for objects to also localize them. Third, we will have a mobile app, which will, as mentioned before, be used as a Bluetooth receiver for localizing the workers. Also, the manager can use the app to review unsafe acts and conditions. And finally, workers also receive alerts for unsafe acts and conditions so that we can react immediately. And finally, we have the central unit, which is basically a laptop on site, which is robust, which gathers all the data from the site. It also runs pre-trained machine learning models to classify images to see whether an act is or a condition is unsafe or not. And finally, this central unit is self-reliant, which means we will not need or rely too much on outside sources of energy and data connection. Also looking at the interactions between these devices, we see that they all rely on existing technologies, so are also very reliable. We see that the worker on the left-hand side uses the 360-degree camera and the app, which all are connected to the central unit. The manager also provides real-time analysis and feedback, which is then later relied onto the worker. And at the bottom, we can see how the Bluetooth connections work together to also transmit data to the central unit.
Okay, thank you. So all of what you've seen so far is the amount of information gathering that takes place at the worksite itself, up to the point of where the local manager is notified and can intervene as soon as possible. Whereas this will now be the part of the process that would take place after an incident has either happened or was prevented. So all the data gathered by the central unit, as my colleague said, pretty much a computer, the data will be stored and can either be uploaded to the company servers in real time, or can, in case of no data connection, can be uploaded, for example, on a daily basis at the end of the day. From this incident data and all the other data gathered up until this point, we will be able to create several things of which we hope they will make your process a lot easier, meaning we will be able to create incident records automatically. We want to extract valuable insights into the work procedures and be able to adapt work procedures from the data we've collected so far, meaning this would be, for example, a quite useful preparation for the daily meetings. And what of course will also be possible is that the system can store and efficiently manage and provide certificates, all tools used on site. Thank you. So at last, we want to provide you with a lookout on how we think this should be implemented and what else could be done with it. So of course, we would suggest the rollout on one test site because, well, there's a lot of things that need to be applied in practice. Workers need to be trained. With the data gathered from this test site, especially images and all the other experience so far, we can go into an optimized process later. All the data gathered will be used to train the model. And with all these information we had so far, we are sure that the system we've set up so far would enable you to reduce the amount of unsafe acts and of unsafe conditions critically at your site. Thank you for your time so far.
Great, thank you. And let's have 5 minutes of Q&A.
Yeah, a couple of questions. One is you talked about this 360 cameras on the helmets and all that. So one of the limitations is going to be getting these helmets for all the workers. Have you thought about that limitation?
Yes, so we looked at the limitations of the cameras. One is, of course, we know it's not as scalable. So we know that basically the more workers are on site, the more cameras we will be needing. So there is a limitation there. An additional limitation would also be we would have to check if mounting cameras on top of helmets is legal, right? So it could be that there are some laws regarding this. As a backup, we thought mounting the cameras on the shoulder would be an alternative as well.
Yeah.
But pretty much, oh, sorry.
The other one is with regard to your Bluetooth beacons and collecting that thing, right? Instead of that, have you thought about using GIS technologies in the mobile as an alternative, or you wanted Bluetooth for a specific reason?
Well, why we went for Bluetooth and not for other technologies, for example, also like UWB is a big thing. We want to, yeah, no, Daniel, don't even think we need that slide. But in any case, we also want to be able to, for example, tag vehicles on site, or for example, like heavy moving objects, to also avoid workers being hit by such things. And for this, we want to, for example, rely on tags that last, if possible, years, use little energy. And to get all this in combination with like a low price, the Bluetooth low energy was the best compromise we could come up with.
Okay.
Yeah, I think related to Sudhakar's first question, were you able to maybe estimate some kind of a unit cost for maybe putting one of these things at one location?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I'll jump in here. So we did a broad assessment. So we looked at the prices for the equipment, and we also spoke to professionals in the field who guided us on the training costs and the like. And we found different sources that said that for every $1 that you invest into safety, you actually get $3 out. So based on the system that we have now, you can expect on one side only to save up to $100,000 and 1.5K per additional camera for the equipping each worker. So the solution is relatively affordable in the regard that it's very scalable, because once you have the software up and running, you just need the hardware. You have already mentioned that the cameras, you theoretically need cameras for everyone, but I think on a trial basis, you don't have to equip everyone.
How many units are you considering? So one of each one of this per location, is that the idea? No, you need more cameras, right?
So
you do maybe 4,800 that you have here.
Worker, one camera.
Yeah, so each timer, everyone who works at height should be equipped with a camera. Depending on the solutions that we develop, we can theoretically even cut down the costs at some point. But for the beginning, it should be only the ones who will be working at height, the ones who are most in danger.
And we considered the option of using, for example, cheaper cameras, because we're quite aware it's the major cost point. But in order for us to be able to get as much information as we possibly can, we of course need many perspectives, and if we can always only see what the workers see at that very moment, we limit ourselves and basically cut ourselves off from the possibility to warn them of stuff they are not able to see themselves.
Vivek, do you have any questions?
No questions, Sudhakar. No.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presentation. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, same to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.